What else? What other reasons for commitment? Afraid of commitment. There's a cost. Yeah, like, well, how much is it? You know, have you ever been, like, there he goes, passing that plate again. I knew it. Let's get out of here, honey. They're just after one thing. Actually, no, God is after everything. He doesn't want your money. He wants everything that belongs to you. Well, I don't know. That's a huge commitment. You think? Yes, is huge. It's huge. It is a massive, 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 massive commitment. But we have to recognize that there's a fear, there's a blockage, and we need to identify it, walk around it. Say, this thing will not conquer us, but I will walk around it in obedience to God. 7 times, 8 times, I don't care how many times, I'm going to walk around it believing that this is not going to hold me back this season. I'm not going back in the desert. I am not going to wander again. Back in your desert and you're wandering is your history. You might have a history with churches that has kept you from being the church. But the church hasn't kept you, you've kept you. And in that place, it's only you that can break it. It's only you that can walk around it. But guess what? God is creating an army that we can walk together. That's right. You're not alone. Hey, I struggle with that too. But I'm not going to join a party and say, well, let's just cry over that. Let's get on with our life. Let's move forward. Let's become a legacy. My kids are watching. Your kids are watching. Well, I'm not married and I don't even have kids. Yes, you do have kids. Everybody that looks at you as an example is your kid. And you're responsible what they see from your example. Don't tell them about God, show them. What about commitment? John 3:16 says that God committed his son. And his son committed his life. No greater love hath anyone than to lay down his life. John 15:13. And call us friends when we treat him as an enemy. In the midst. That's commitment. Come on. Think about the road to the cross. Watch the Passion film again. That's commitment. And then to say, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. They know what they do. I'll tell you what they did. They did this, 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 this. God, justice. Justice for all. Jesus didn't cry that. His plan and his ways are not man's ways, but God's ways. And God's ways are to redeem, to forgive. Somebody has to fold their cards instead of holding them close to them and say, listen, I don't have much. What? That's the worst thing you could do. No, I'm willing to lay this down and say, this is who I am. You still want to be at the table with me? Because I still want to be at the table with you. And so God is calling that type of commitment. I love it when Peter, and Jesus is talking to Peter and he says, do you love me? Then he says, feed my sheep. Somebody has to go and feed them. Do you know you could come on a Friday night and you say, wow, that was incredible. But who locks up afterwards? Who picks up the popcorn? After a movie, do you ever wonder? Somebody does that. Who organized this? Who've been praying on their knees before this happened? And it's a team of people doing incredible things with an incredible God. Luke 9 verse 23 says, if any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Did you know that there's churches out there that are called Me Church, My Church, and I Church? Now bless them. I pray that they didn't really mean that the way that sounds. I believe that that we need to lay down and crucify. What do we need to do with the I? What do we need to do with the me? We need to die. And listen, I know somebody said, oh, I've gone through such a death. Oh, the death that I have gone through. Oh, the woes that have come. Oh, Lord has bestowed upon me. And listen, that's not the death that God's talking about. God says, hey, get on with it and die, so that I can resurrect you and you can raise up a mighty man, a mighty woman of God. Listen, this is where God's taking us. Do you know the world that we live in is so focused in one direction? Where is it? Self. And in that self creates this individualistic mentality, culture. Okay? We now talk to people no longer face to face. And people even drive and text. Or be in a room with people and text to somebody else. God bless them. And you know what? The truth is, all of us that have it, I've done it before. I've got to get this text off. I've got to. They need me to get this back to them right now. Well, at least just excuse yourself or something. We used to at least do that when we had phone calls, with the phone that comes out of the wall. When was that? How many have never seen a rotary telephone? Okay, I got to make that call real quick. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, call back. Ding, 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 ding. Why don't I just drive over there?